Ladies and gentlemen, the Golden State Warriors are very dangerous in the Western Conference. Stephen Curry is unbelievable. This dude is like fine wine. He gets better with age. Let's check out what this Warriors team is doing so well. Obviously, on the offensive side of the ball, they've been one of the most lethal teams in all of basketball the past decade, with the Splash Bros, Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson, absolutely lighting up the league. Curry this year is averaging almost 31 points per game in his MVP campaign. This dude is a legit MVP contender, and I absolutely think he can win it. Like I said, he's nearly putting up 31 points per game off of almost 50% shooting from behind the arc. He's taking charge of this Warriors team after they lost their second highest scorer last season in Jordan Poole. And this Warriors team is very dangerous, and they're a lot better than they were last year. Let's talk about some of their offseason moves and some early concerns that were had with this team. After losing to the Lakers in the postseason last year, it was inevitable that the Warriors needed to make a move to contend in the Western Conference this season. Steph Curry, Thompson, and Draymond Green weren't getting any younger, and they didn't have enough cap space to keep all three of those guys, Andrew Wiggins and Jordan Poole. So they traded Jordan Poole this offseason and received the point guard Chris Paul. Now, there was a lot of controversy with that move. Could Klay Thompson give enough offensively to this team to replace what Jordan Poole provided? Whether you liked him or not, Jordan Poole was this spark plug off the bench for this Warriors team that made them so dangerous. People are quick to forget in the finals 2 years ago, Jordan Poole was the reason why they won one of those games against the Celtics. This dude was great for their team, and myself included was worried that he wasn't going to be with them anymore. In his absence, it was inevitable that they needed more scoring in their second unit. Could you rely on Chris Paul, a guy who didn't even put up 14 points a game last year, to replace his scoring? Would Jonathan Kuminga take that leap that everyone's been expecting from him? The return of Gary Payton and his defensive presence, and Moses Moody, a very underrated wild card on their team, would he also take that next step? I think so far a lot of those questions have been answered. Stephen Curry is obviously lighting it up. Jonathan Kuminga is having his best season. Chris Paul so far is doing a great job of leading this second unit. Many people were concerned with how the Warriors would play defensively, especially on this second unit. I think having a healthy Wiggins and the emergence of Draymond Green and Kevon Looney make a big difference for this team. And the reason why I say this Warriors team this year is better than the one last year is because of what they're doing on the defensive side of the ball. The Warriors last season, more than any of the others, were so dependent on the three-point ball, especially at home. They struggled on the road. They struggled with turnovers. They struggled defensively, and that significantly hurt them come playoff time. But now you look at this team's defense, having Andrew Wiggins, having Gary Payton is a huge boost on the defensive side of the ball. Right now, there are only 3 teams in the NBA with a top 10 offensive rating and a top 10 defensive rating. That's currently the Clippers, Celtics, and you guessed it, the Golden State Warriors. And we haven't even seen how deadly this offense and three-point shooting can become for the Warriors. I think they can get a lot better. They can get a lot scarier. I think what's holding them back from being able to beat a team like the Nuggets is some offensive production from Andrew Wiggins and Chris Paul. The Warriors are going to need both of these guys to play very big offensive roles, not only for that first unit, but for that second unit. The Warriors are currently 6-2. They're third place in the Western Conference. It's very early in the season, but why I get so excited about them is what they're doing so early on. There were a lot of question marks defensively. There were a lot of question marks with how the second unit would be, and having some of those questions answered with green flags is a big deal for this Warriors squad. Not to mention this year, they already have 5 road wins. Last season, they didn't even eclipse 4 road wins until mid-January. I think the Warriors are the second best team in the Western Conference right now. Until we see more from the Clippers and the Suns, it really feels like it's the Denver Nuggets against the Golden State Warriors right now. But like I said, it's very early. I expect the Clippers to put their hat into the ring. Phoenix, once they get healthy, are going to be very dangerous. Minnesota's a sleeper team right now. They're great on the defensive side of the ball, and Anthony Edwards is an MVP contender. I'm not expecting LeBron James and the Lakers to not be in that conversation. But like I said, it's very early. We'll check back up on this post-All-Star break. But right now, the Golden State Warriors are a significant threat in the Western Conference. I'm Caden Kubler, and that's my take.